Hello and welcome to Brain Bites. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that influences our everyday lives, health, and lifestyle choices in ways many people don't fully realize. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Health and lifestyle? Global football tactics? But hear me out, because the deeply ingrained cultural philosophies behind how nations play the beautiful game absolutely shape the societies they come from. In this explainer, we're looking at a massive, decades-old cultural clash in football, the highly structured, systematic discipline of Europe versus the raw, spontaneous flair of South America. So, let's jump right in. To really grasp this, picture these two fundamentally different approaches. On one hand, you have the European blueprint. This is a game built on rigid geometry, highly tactical pressing, positional discipline, and strict systems. On the other hand, you've got the South American way. This is all about the chaotic, individualistic beauty born on the streets and beaches. It's spontaneous rhythm, it's deception, and it's the absolute art of the dribble. And look, neither style is inherently superior, but they represent entirely different ways of thinking about space, teamwork, and individual expression. Here is how we'll unpack this clash today. We'll cover the great tactical divide, what the data actually says, mastering the Ginga, history's greatest football upset, the brutal CONMEBOL qualifiers, and finally, replicating the magic. Section 1. The Great Tactical Divide. Section 2. What the data actually says. Now, the modern footballing debate loves to pit meticulous tactical systems against pure, unbridled individual flair. But this divide, it isn't just some romantic myth. It's actually backed up by hard empirical data. A comprehensive study by researcher Jose Maria Izquierdo analyzed over 1,200 games across the top leagues in Europe and South America. And the numbers are fascinating. European leagues score significantly more goals from fast positional attacks and rely heavily on through-ball assists. It's a game of precise, structured passing. But South America? They heavily dominate in dribbles, out-of-the-box shots, and, well, consequently, off-target shots. They also spend way more time playing in the crowded, messy middle of the pitch. The data perfectly mirrors the philosophy, right? Europe uses structure to break lines, while South America relies on individuals, just taking on defenders and trying their luck from distance. So, how does this actually translate to global dominance? Get a load of this number: 18%. According to data from the Atlas, South America performs 18% above what its economic weight and GDP would predict in global ELO rankings. Literally all 10 South American nations sit above the expected baseline for success. They are producing an absolute surplus of world-class talent relative to their wealth and population. It's pretty incredible. Section 3. Mastering the Ginga. To truly understand this wild overperformance, we have to zoom in on the deep grassroots culture, because it all starts here. In Brazil, you have Ginga, this continuous rhythmic sway and movement that allows a player to stay completely unpredictable. It's basically the illusion of motion without even touching the ball. Over in Argentina, you have the potrero, which is unstructured street football played in incredibly tight, often rough, vacant lots. Out there in those environments, there are no coaches, no tactical cones, and absolutely no rigid rules. Players survive by relying on pure deception, incredible balance, and raw instinct. And the Brazilian rhythm actually has roots in biomechanics. The core idea is move from the waist, not the knees, maintain a low base with high agility. This is the direct biomechanical influence of capoeira, the Afro-Brazilian martial art that blends fighting, dance, and music. Ginga wasn't cooked up in some pristine football academy. It evolved from a profound cultural need to disguise resistance as performance. It teaches young players to be elastic, to sway, to drop their shoulders, and to deceive defenders long before they ever learn how to execute a tactical press. Quick reminder, if you're finding this video valuable, don't forget to hit the like button. It helps more people discover the channel and supports future content like this. Okay, moving on to Section 4, History's Greatest Football Upset. Historically speaking, how did this South American agility actually challenge European physicality on the biggest stages? Well, back in the 1920s, the structured physical British style of play was pretty much the undisputed global standard. Then Uruguay showed up. At the 1924 Paris Olympics, European teams were utterly baffled by Uruguay's short, lightning-quick passes and high-speed dribbling, a style they called el toque. That South American agility constantly overwhelmed European physicality, leading Uruguay to win back-to-back Olympic golds in 24 and 28, and then they literally won the inaugural World Cup in 1930. But the true defining moment of South American football folklore? That happened in 1950. The Maracanazo. Brazil was hosting the World Cup. They were scoring like 6 goals a game, and the hubris was just off the charts. The mayor of Rio and the local press literally declared Brazil the champions before the final against Uruguay even kicked off. Can you imagine? Outraged by the sheer disrespect, Uruguay's captain bought copies of that newspaper, threw them on the bathroom floor, and ordered his team to urinate on them. Fueled by that fiery motivation, Uruguay pulled off a relentless, heartbreaking 2-1 upset in front of a record 173,000 completely devastated Brazilian fans. And this continental dominance just kept expanding over the decades. Fast forward to 1978, under coach Cesar Luis Menotti, and led by the incredible goals of Mario Kempes, Argentina proved that a fiercely associated, ground-passing game, staying incredibly true to their cultural roots, could conquer the world too. The Flair wasn't just a Brazilian phenomenon anymore. It was a bona fide continental identity. Section 5. The brutal CONMEBOL qualifiers. By the time these South American teams actually arrive at the World Cup, they are already fiercely battle-hardened by what is widely considered the world's most unforgiving qualifying tournament. Just consider this number for a second. 12,000. That's the altitude, in feet, of the stadium in La Paz, Bolivia. When global superstars fly in from Europe to play a qualifier there, they are facing absolute physiological extremes. The sheer lack of oxygen is a massive leveler, making every single away game a literally breathtaking challenge. These teams run a brutal gauntlet to qualify. It's an 18-game marathon stretched over 18 exhausting months. They bounce from those extreme altitudes in the Andes Mountains straight into the oppressive, suffocating heat and humidity of the coasts. Add to that the deeply hostile rival crowds and highly emotional derby matches. Unlike the often straightforward European qualifiers, in South America there is no such thing as an easy game. This intense league format raises the standard across the board. It hardens these teams so intensely that simply surviving the qualifying rounds makes the actual World Cup group stages feel easy by comparison. Section 6. Replicating the magic. Seeing all this historical dominance, it's no surprise that the rest of the world is desperately trying to learn from this incredibly unique South American pipeline. Their development model is highly successful because it basically operates as a 3-step cycle. Step 1. Unstructured street football organically breeds raw creativity, improvisation, and unmatched ball mastery. Step 2. Club academies step in, not to erase that flair, but to polish the raw talent with just enough tactical structure. Step 3. These polished gems are exported globally to top European leagues, bringing in massive transfer fees that get directly reinvested back into the grassroots academies. It's a brilliant, completely self-sustaining loop. And nations worldwide are definitely taking notes. Look at the adaptations happening in places like the USA right now. Historically, they've been super reliant on highly structured, rigid instruction from a very young age. But today, American grassroots programs are actively trying to encourage more unstructured, informal play. They're expanding their scouting networks way outside of the expensive club systems to find raw, organic talent. They're finally realizing that you simply cannot drill pure creativity into a player using only cones and chalkboards. Which leaves us with this final, provocative question to ponder. Can a highly structured system ever truly manufacture flair, or does true footballing genius absolutely require the beautiful chaos of the streets? We hope you found today's discussion informative. If you did, please like the video, share it with others who might benefit from it, and subscribe to Brain Bites for more thought-provoking videos and practical insights.